What's going on, guys? My name's Corrupt and welcome back to another episode of Identify That Base. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the Sui Lavaloon attack strategy. We're going to give you guys the best tips as well as kind of teaching you guys how to identify to use that specific attack strategy. So if you guys do enjoy this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notification bells so you guys don't miss an upload. Let's go ahead and jump into the first example we have here for you guys. So let's go ahead and take a look at this first base design we have here. And this one, you can see that there is a ground expo, but the other thing that you're going to notice is where the air sweepers are placed. They are placed towards these multi-infernos, meaning that it's going to be fairly difficult to get some sort of value with an electron. Another thing that you'll notice is that the queen is on the side of the town hall, meaning that if you were to go in with a blimp here, it's only going to pop at the town hall. So what you really want to make sure is you take a look at where the value is. So if we take a look at where the multi-inferno is and also the air defenses, you're going to notice that these two air defenses here are fairly easy to get to with a Sui hero, as long as you wall break in. Now, the other thing that we have to keep note of is where is the multi-inferno range. And if we take a look at it from here, you might need a freeze, and that's why he's bringing in two of them. The second one will be used during the Lavaloon portion, but if you take a look at it here, he has wall breakers, and he's going into an area where it's being covered by a multi-inferno. This is where the free spell can come into play. But also, if you break into this wall, look at all the value that you can get. You can get the multi-inferno, an air defense, another archer tower, this one right here, and also the archer tower that we sort of missed right there. But really, a lot of good value there. Two air defenses for only the price of some wall breakers and heroes. Now, the reason that he's only bringing those two hounds is to try and get through the rest of the base with just those two hounds. He doesn't need three hounds. He doesn't need more than that. He does need more loons, though, as he goes in through the rest of the base. We'll explain how to deal with the queen as well as the replay goes through. So you just want to make sure that you identify different aspects of bases. We've got two other examples for you in terms of this attack. But you really want to make sure that you use that test wall breaker to see exactly, if there are any small bombs there. Those are really critical, and if you can get those, then that's even better. Now, sometimes you may have the wall breakers get lucky and break into another layer, and that's really good because that offers you even more value. But usually you're trying to get that queen in to get some sort of value. The king can just go off on his own, pop his ability when he gets low, but then you really want to try and make sure that you can really deal with any other value. Now, this is actually going to include the CC. Sometimes you're going to see a damage CC. Other times, a CC may not come out, just like this one, where this was a Lalo CC, which means the heroes would have pulled out a hound and a loon. And as you kind of see here, as he's starting to move in through the base, he is dropping his loons sort of in groups. The hounds are tanking for each of the groups. He does have the stone slimer going in by itself along with the others, trying to make sure that he can get some sort of value with them, but he's treating it like a loon when he sends the hounds in. He's trying to tank for all the group. So usually it's going to depend on the defenses. So on screen down below, you're going to see the number of loons that you're going to need per defense in order to take it out. The first couple defenses as you move in, this is what's really critical. You're usually going to send two groups per one hound. And then usually here, whatever loons you have left, you can send in as groups, since the hounds would usually be tanking for those group of loons as they move in through the base. And then using the haste spells to actually get those loons to go up and move through is really, really helpful. Now, sometimes the pathing is a little bit awkward where the multi-inferno may not go down. So sometimes you got to really, consider that. But also consider where the queen is going to move. She is going to follow the hound. So don't place your skelly until you know that she is planted in one area where the skellies can actually start accumulating, and then go ahead and kill her. So it's usually really going to be very difficult to exactly figure it out. But again, very, very simple on how you guys can do it. Even though in this replay here, you see that there is that one Tesla up However, it does have just a little bit of health, but he does still have those armored skeletons, or really just the skeletons with the shields. That's their new mechanic, so they do take 2 shots to kill from splash, other than a multi-inferno, which will pop off their shield and then kill the skellies. So it's just really up to you on exactly how you guys are going to do this attack, but it's a very, very simple strategy. So hopefully that kind of gives you guys an understanding of it. So let's go ahead and take a look at another example we have here for you guys. Now, in this base design here, let's kind of take a look, and the value is pretty spread out, so it's going to be fairly difficult to get something. So if you can get like an expo or some sort of value, then that's really good. Now let's take a look at where each of the air defenses are placed. Now, some of these air defenses, such like here, don't offer as much value in terms of, you know, a hound and then the loons going in. However, if we take a look at one right here, or even right here, they are actually going to be, the hounds are going to be tanking for a lot of those defenses, the archer towers, the wizard towers, at least one beam from the multi-inferno. So that's really something to consider when you guys are taking a look at the base design. Air defense placement is really critical. Sometimes you see it in the corners. Those are usually to deter a Lavaloon attack from coming from that side, or on the base entirely, just because those air defenses are away from any value where the loons can actually, you know, get tanked for by a lot of the defenses from that hound. So you got to really consider this when you guys are doing this attack. But if we also take a look at it here, there's not a lot of value that the attacker can get. Yeah, there was a random Tesla farm there, but is that really the value that you're looking for? Is that really what you're going to see in, you know, let's say your attack? Again, you're probably not going to see something like that. That's very, very impossible. However, if you take a look at each of these spots here, you can notice that there's a good area of value that at least you can get. You can get like an expo at least, and an archer tower. So usually those are not bad value, but definitely it's going to be much more risky, and you will have to pop the queen's ability, especially if you know that there is a damage CC. So you got to take out the CC first. A lot of these are going to have a hound in the CC. However, that doesn't mean that it is a... That doesn't mean that you can't deal with the CC. But what it does mean is that if you're seeing damage CCs and you want to try and lure out the CC first. So you're going to see, again, one group or a few groups are going in with that one hound. And again, notice how not too much is tanking, or not too much is hitting the hound. However, as this hound moves in, a little bit more will show, just like, you know, just a little bit going through, but he does still have that last hound. Stone Slimer going in, being tanked by the hound. And then also, let's take a look at it right here. The skellies are dropped with the rage a bit early, just because that bomb tower wasn't taken out. Bomb towers are really critical to take out as your loons go in, so that then you could drop the skellies, so that then they can kill the queen. It's harder to do a Sui hero with skeleton spells when the king is near it and also the bomb towers. So you really want to consider this when you guys are doing this. But also, let's take a look at this hound right here. Notice how, as we start to play the replay, notice how much is being tanked right there for those loons. The hounds are basically on each of those, and they are definitely taking up multiple of those multi-inferno beams, allowing the loons to get a lot of good value. The heal allows loons to get healed up a little bit more. You can see that the Stone Slimer is still at full health. And again, that's sometimes even a possibility for using it just like a loon. You guys can keep that almost at full health, and then have it for the back end that it stays alive so far where it can, the max loons can get through the rest of the base very easily. Now, just remember that in order to 3-star, you don't need to take out the heroes. So if you don't take out the queen, then that's completely fine. As long as all the buildings are taken out, you get the 100% 3-star. So it's really, really important to consider this and kind of like get you guys to understand it. Yes, these last 2 replays that we've shown were not, or did not have a damage CC. But in order to deal with the damage CC, you may want to send in a few loons and a haste to try and get rid of that, or use the Stone Slimer itself and then try to get some sort of value with that rather than using it with the Lalo. Again, up to you, but in order to deal with that damage CC, you've got to try and at least lure the CC out with a haste and some loons, or even just wall break into the area of the CC. So let's go ahead and take a look at the final example we have here for you guys. Now on this last one, you're going to notice that this is still a Sui Lalo. However, you notice that he's using the wall wrecker and no skellies. So what you're aiming for with the wall wrecker here is, again, you want to look at where the town hall is in relative to where the queen is placed, and then also the CC. This is a good chance. Now you could still call this a wrecker Lalo. This is technically still a Sui Hero Lavaloon, except you're using a siege machine and also the heroes to get some sort of value from really your kill squad portion. And again, a kill squad can be like the Electron or the Sui Hero, or even something like this. So again, you really want to make sure that you still take a look at each part of the base and notice. Look at where the value and what value you can get from here. Wizard Tower, an air defense, a few archer towers, the queen, the CC, some air sweepers, an expo. That's a lot of value there. Plus, what you're doing from this is you're actually making an indent onto the base where you can actually get some sort of value from. This means that you now just have this part of the base to deal with. So that is really good to consider sometimes. So now you can see Valkyries do pop out of the wall wrecker. Instead of bowlers or anything like that, using Valkyries are not a bad option. Now, you can notice that none of the air sweepers were taken out. The queen did walk. However, he still got the queen down, and he still got some other extra value that includes the air defenses. Now, as we take a look at where the air defenses are placed, you'll see, again, there are things where the air defenses will actually be tanked for a lot more so. So you can see that the Hound is going to be tanking for the Archer Tower and also that Expo going in. That one's going to be tanking for, I believe, 2 Wizard Towers and 1 beam from the multi. So you can see it's really just identifying where the air defenses are placed and what are they protecting. That is the biggest thing. So as you start to sort of enter in, again, look at those 2 Hounds actually tanking for at least 2 of those beams. And you can see as the loons move in through, heal spell will be placed in order to heal all of them up back to full health. So making sure that you can identify exactly when to use the heal. Don't use it super early on, but make sure that you use it on the back end of the base so that then you can get some sort of value by healing up your group of loons, especially if they are on low health going into a multi-inferno. So you got to make sure that they are alive and well as they start to move into any splash buildings. This could even include the Wizard Towers. So you got to make sure that you identify that. Other than that, very simple attack. And you saw in this example, he dealt with a Dragon CC. So it was still a damage CC. That is when the wall wrecker came into place. He could not just do a regular Sui hero. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video and learn something. If you guys did, leave a like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and hopefully you guys will join the Exit Humanity Family Discord or my community Discord server. So hopefully if you guys did enjoy, why not share with your clanmates so that then they can become better attackers here at Town Hall 10 with a Sui Lalo. So if you guys did enjoy, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.